And I'm hoping that somebody somewhere will be able to see this and hear this and maybe recognize something in themselves and say, actually, I feel that way and I've done that stuff and maybe I don't need to. What's the worst that can happen? BaldEagle. Yes, man. Welcome back. Good morning, afternoon, evening, and good night. Look, today was going to be all about my excitement and my medical, which is happening this week. It was going to happen and hopefully giving you the great news. But the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to talk about the massive killer of dreams. And that's fear, false evidence appearing real, F-E-A-R, or F-E-A-R, can't remember which way it'll work in the cut. Look, the medical, as I've previously described, is the first and biggest or most significant obstacle that my flying will face. Now, I can fly before I've got my medical. I can take any number of hours, 15, 20, 25, 30 hours if I want to. But I can't go solo without it. So essentially for me, it's a bit of a crossroads or a drawbridge in that if I don't pass my medical, we're done. No point in really carrying on. Yes, there are other options. There are lesser medicals for lesser ratings and stuff like that. I don't mean lesser as in one's better than the other, but for my mission, for what I want to do, that is a thing. And I just want to talk about the fear I have of it. Now, fear as a man, as a black man, fear is not something that we talk about very often. Most cultures out there will teach you that as a guy, you're not supposed to be afraid. You're supposed to be, stiff upper lip, stick out your chest, men don't cry and all that. And actually, we never really, or we very seldom get to fully appreciate or explore the paralyzing nature of it and how it can arrest us, stop our dreams even before they've begun. So yeah, let's talk about some of mine. So with this medical, one thing I have concern about, I'm trying not to worry, because ironically it won't help, is my blood pressure. Now, I'm not on any medication. I never have been. I've never had any heart problems or heart murmurs or anything like that I know about. But I do know, and it's quite indicative of black people, is my blood pressure is high, or it borders high. It kind of, and what's worse, I suffer with white coat syndrome. And yeah, there was a little pause there for me to explain what that was. And so I know, or anticipate and worry, if I'm honest, that thing will stop me from reaching my goal. Now, it might not. It never has before. It's delayed me significantly, whilst you have to kind of work things out and you have to go back and do monitoring and testing and stuff like that. But I haven't even sat in the cockpit yet, and I'm already concerned that I'm not going to make it because this thing is going to ruin my dream forever, which is crushing. And it's really difficult to balance positivity and positive thinking with, oh my gosh, this thing might never even happen. And I'm trying to save money, and I'm thinking about, I've got to get a car and I've got to get headsets and I need equipment and all this stuff. I've really got to have it, and it's going to be amazing when I get it, and when I get up and do my first solo. And actually, I'm going to go to the doctors this week, and he may turn around to me and say, sorry, Mr. Edwards, Can't do it. And I don't know why I'm worried about it, because it hasn't happened. And yes, I know all the remedies. I know you've got to eat beetroot, lots of water, take out the salt, make sure you exercise and make sure you're healthy. And I'm doing all that. Maybe not so much the beetroot. And as I say in the past, if I go there, we sit down for 20 minutes in a dark room and stop worrying about it, my pressure comes down and then they pass me. But I'm really worried, and I'm scared that it will mess me up. Another thing I'm really, really battling with, and this is just constant fight between is that I've hyped this thing so much in my brain now, and in my head and in my heart, that it won't live up to the expectation that I've put on it, or the expectation I've put on myself. And I'm spending so much time and energy trying to anticipate. And it's a waste of time. I know it's a waste of time. In here, I know it's a waste of time. Here, I know that I've got everything I need. And yet, the pull of the anxiety, the pull of the concept and the possibility that this thing may not happen is enough to make me make excuses to stop it from happening. And I think that happens to us. It's happened to me before so many times, where I really want to do this and I find loads of reasons not to, just in case it doesn't work out. And that's my own sense of, it's like a warped sense of managing my own expectations, which is just wrong. Why am I limiting myself that way? I shouldn't be doing that, but I do. And I do it very, very well, as I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm really sure I'm not the only one. What else is there? The exams. 9 exams. We talked about this before, right? So I hate exams, not because I can't do them. I'm a little lazy when it comes to study. But again, just built up this issue around I might fail. At work, I've recently just passed the last kind of promotion-y elevation exam that there is. There aren't really anymore. There's testing and procedures and stuff like that, but the last open up a book and study exam, here are 150 questions in 3 hours, go. And I did that last year and I passed it. But I remember the first time I thought about taking the first one, that's like 15 years ago. And I literally just convinced myself, I think it was like just before the day, no, I can't do it because, that was it. I'm not interested. I don't really want to do that sort of thing. I remember doing the same thing at university, turning up and going, I don't really think I want to do this because I think the exams were hard. And I told myself for years that it was because I didn't really want to do that line of study. I don't think it was. I think I sabotaged myself. And obviously I'm coming across probably a little bit wet and a little bit pathetic, but that's okay. And I'm hoping that somebody somewhere will be able to see this and hear this and maybe recognise something in themselves and say, actually, I feel that way and I've done that stuff and maybe I don't need to. What's the worst that can happen? You don't pass the exam, you take it again. You don't get the thing you want, you find another way. Or it doesn't happen at all and you're in no worse position than you are now. But the exams are, you start to study and you take a mock test and then you didn't get the result that you wanted, and immediately I'm like, oh my gosh. Immediately. I don't know what else. Here's another one. I put the most pressure upon myself. No one else does. Nobody else. So, here's the pressure in this scenario. I used to fly, as I said, in university. That was over 20 years ago. Something in my brain says to me, you should be really good at it because you've done it before. And therefore, you should get through in the minimum amount of hours. And if you can't get through in the minimum amount of hours, then there's something wrong with you, Joel. I put more pressure on myself because I play a flight simulator. It's the worst. It's not the worst, but it's not even the latest model. It's not even the decent enough flight controls. I'm carrying on like I've given myself the... Look, I'm just putting pressure on myself. And I can already anticipate that when I get in the air for the first time, medical pending, I'm going to be like, I should be really good at this. And every exercise and steep turns and slow flight, I should already be good at it because I've done it before and I've done it in the simulator. My landing should be amazing. My circuits should be brilliant. My navigation should be out of this world because I can read all the instruments. I haven't started yet. And I'm already bugging out. Because I might not be as good as I want to be. And all of these things just paralyze us to a point where we don't go for the goals that we want. We don't try and achieve. We settle for less than we're worth. We allow people to talk to us anyhow. We go for a lesser achievement because we think it's more secure. I don't want to be afraid of failure. A couple of years back, I was saying to my wife that I don't want to live like that anymore. And I want to encourage anyone, whoever, everyone in the world, all 20 people that may watch this, don't be afraid of failure. Don't be like me then. Be like me now. Find something you want to do. Go and do it. I'm too young is not an excuse. I'm not rich enough is not an excuse. It might not work out is not an excuse. I might not be very good or I might not be the best is not a reason to not do it. Get out and do it. It might work out. It might not. You might find that in doing it, you find what you're really supposed to... Just look, let's get out there together. Come with me on this journey. We're going to succeed in all the things that we need to succeed in. I don't know. It's all right to be afraid. It's okay to be unsure. It's all right. I think one of the other things I'm worried, concerned, anxious, is that at the end of this I'll look stupid. Look, if I was maybe not braver but smarter, maybe what I would have done is filmed the whole thing, got to the end, and then put myself out there. But actually I do believe that this is more than just supposed to be a success story. It is supposed to be a journey. And so I think I very intentionally put myself out there first so that we get a real representation of the journey of dreams. Dreams aren't just one ascension to greatness. They are mountains and valleys and peaks and troughs and ups and downs and hard work and highs and lows and suffering and sacrifice. To really get there, to really get to where you want to be, it's going to cost. I'm terrified that I'll look stupid. It's one of the reasons I'm doing it. It's one of the reasons I'm here on YouTube, is because I don't want to look stupid. And the best way to get over something is to hit it head on. That's what I learned. That's why I started skydiving 15 years ago, or whenever it was. I used to skydive, yeah. I used to throw myself out of planes. And I did that because I was scared of heights. And something has awoken in me which I learnt then and forgot, which I'm now doing now. Realizing dreams is about conquering fear. I want to conquer fear.
One, two, three, four.